The number 4 secret to your summer recruiting success. This is the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, episode number 98. Well, I'm climbing a hill. I'm almost up to number 100. Here we are in the 98th episode of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. I'm Jon Fugler. Thank you for joining me. I'm your athletic scholarship coach. I'm also an author and a speaker and a podcaster. Also have a free resource for you, and that is the Recruiting Power Pack. This is 3 items for you. First steps to an athletic scholarship. When and how to use video. And the third thing is a player profile or resume template. These 3 things together will really give you a jump start, launch you this summer. You get that at recruitme.com, recruit-me.com. As I said, the Recruiting Power Pack is absolutely free. I'd encourage you to grab my book. You can read it before the summer is done. No, you can actually read it in just about a day or 2. This is a step-by-step guide. It's the Athletic Scholarship Playbook. You can have it in Kindle, you can have it in Paperbook, and you can have it in Audible. Check it all out on Amazon. It's a great resource for you. So glad you've joined me, and here we are, episode number 98. We've been running through some things in the last few weeks here, the top 4 secrets to your summer recruiting success. Today, it's the number 4 secret. We'll get into that in a moment. Just the other day, I talked with a reporter who was doing an article. He called me, contacted me, and we connected, and he wanted to get some insights as he was writing about athletes from his local area that have gotten scholarships and what this recruiting thing is all about, what they learned and everything. And, you know, a couple things that we landed on that I shared with him, and we discussed this for a while. I think this helps parents especially, and of course athletes too, but together. One thing that I shared with him is that families really need to keep this fun. Athlete, you don't want to get into college and not enjoy your sport. You don't want to be burned out. It's not fun anymore because this whole pursuit of an athletic scholarship made competing in your sport not fun anymore. Parents, we have a responsibility to keep it fun for our kids. Getting a scholarship is not the end of the world. It's not the answer in life. It's not going to determine their future. It is just a beginning. It's a launching pad. Getting an athletic scholarship is a tremendous blessing, and that's why I'm here. That's why I've been doing this since 2002. I want you, as a talented athlete, to get a scholarship. Parents, we need to keep this all in perspective, though, and really help our kids keep competing fun. It was fun for me growing up all the way through college, and it was, I don't know, my parents didn't push me, didn't make it seem like a job. It was fun for me. So we talked about that for a while, and the reporter said, wow, that's good. I really, that's insightful, and I want to include that in my article. The second thing that we talked about that we landed on, it was a good conversation. We just bantered back and forth, is that college coaches want to hear from the athlete, not the parent. This is really important, that we want our kids to be the lead on this, and at the same time, we need to be there with them. We need to be backing them up, and we need to be doing work as parents. But coaches want to hear from the student athlete. That doesn't mean we don't do anything, parents, because you know that, and I know that. I've been through it. But we need to let our athlete be the one making the contact with the schools. We can help them with their email. We can help them with their resume. We can help them, coach them in phone calls and that type of thing. But the college coach wants to hear from the athlete. They're recruiting the athlete / they are recruiting the family too. And they will get into that. They want to find out about the family, where this athlete came from and what type of family, that kind of thing. So they're trying to really project how this athlete will be a good fit long-term in the program, which involves the whole family. But they don't want you as a parent parading for your athlete, for your son or daughter. They want your son or daughter to be sincerely interested in their program and to speak for themselves. So those are a couple things that we talked about: having fun, keeping it fun, letting the athlete take the lead in contact and having the conversations with the coaches. It's just a little extra as we start this episode. And this number 4 secret to your summer recruiting success, that wasn't even one of the secrets. Summer is a microcosm of the whole year, maybe even of the whole process of recruiting. That's why I've taken 4 episodes, and next week, the 5th, to discuss the top 4 secrets to summer recruiting success. Imagine that you're condensing the entire recruiting experience into 2 or 3 months. It's kind of like that, not totally, because you're not going to begin conversations with the coaches. They make an offer, you accept, and boom, you're on your way. But the time frame that you have and the time available allows you to do a lot more quickly. And that's what I want you to be able to center on this summer. I've mentioned that this is a high recruiting season because coaches are out of season and they're able to focus on recruiting. You are able to focus on recruiting as an athlete because you are not in school. Parents, for you, it's just like normal because year-round you're working. However, it's a great intersection of a coach's time and focus and an athlete's time and focus. That's why this summer is really important for you. You want to maximize it. In the first secret I talked about, I believe it was the first one, not to waste things. And one of those things you don't want to waste is time. Summer is a microcosm of the year. Act fast, act well. Here is the number 4 secret I want to discuss with you in this episode. It's this: think big and go small. Think big and go small. I want to use some examples to illustrate this, and maybe you'll get what I'm talking about. I'm driving from LA after my Dodger game, all the way back home, commuting back to soon-to-be North Carolina. And so I'm on my way. I decided to drive and not fly. I've got a long way to go. I got the end in mind. I got my home in mind. I want to get back to home soon. Hopefully I'll have done like 3 or 4 Dodger games to make the trip worthwhile. Getting there, I don't just set the car in that direction and go, and it's on autopilot. That's not the way it happens. But my big goal, I'm thinking big. I want to get home into North Carolina. However, I've got to act small. It's going to take several days to get there. My first day, I might be going to Phoenix. And to get to Phoenix, I've got to take, well, in this case, I-10 all the way. I get there, and my next step, I continue along. I may have to take different roads, make different turns, different interstates, and I will, to get to North Carolina. I'm not aiming for North Carolina on the second day. I'm aiming for my next destination. I'm aiming small. And inside that next destination, I'm even getting smaller. I'm thinking about, well, where am I going to have lunch? What kind of intersections am I turning at on interstates? There's a lot of decisions. Where am I going to get gas? How long will my car go before I have to refuel? Those kinds of things, smaller decisions that get me to the bigger goal. Think big, and I want to get home, which motivates me to act small in getting there. That's one illustration. Let's bring it back into where we are in sports. For me personally, I want to take you back many decades. My desire, as many baseball players, it was to be a Major League Baseball player. I was confident I was going to get there. That was my think big. I had to have that. I mean, I went beyond the athletic scholarship. I was going for the big dream, and there's no harm in doing that. You might want to do that as well. I want to be a Major League Baseball player. But I had to act small. I had to, one, perfect my fastball. I remember I went through a year or two with making some changes in my fastball that even though I had the velocity, it was straight, put some movement on it, made it harder to hit, and took me to the next level. I probably wouldn't have been able to compete in D1 college ball without making this change on my fastball. That was acting small. And acting even smaller than that, I just didn't come up with it myself, but I had a pitching coach who came alongside and helped me do that, gave me instructions, watched me in practice, watched me even in competition. Every pitch, every opportunity to throw the ball was a chance to perfect my fastball and make that changed. I want to be a Major League Baseball player. I had to think big, but act small. Another thing I had to do was to develop great mechanics. I couldn't just go out there and throw. If I wanted to compete all the way to the major leagues, then I had to have major league mechanics. I needed to develop those over a period of years. That was thinking small, acting small. Acting even smaller is I had to study my videos. I had to study my videos. That was acting real small. And in studying every pitch, you can see how you're going smaller and smaller. And I had to get somebody to shoot my video. That's acting small. I was thinking big and acting small, which is what you need to do. So for your example, let's take a look at this. You want to, in thinking big, say you want to earn an athletic scholarship at the school of your choice by 2020, if that's you, or you fill in the year as to when you're going to make that choice in your senior year. You want to earn an athletic scholarship at the school of your choice by 2020. If you think about that, crystallize that in your mind. That is thinking big. That is where you're going. That is your destination. That is the one thing you want to have happen. As you're thinking big, what is that one thing that you're shooting for? The one thing, narrow it down to one thing. Well, how does that relate to going small? Well, let's take a look at this summer, because that's what we're talking about, summer recruiting success. Here would be one going small is have 5 college coach relationships by August 31st. 5 college coach relationships by August 31st. You're narrowing it down. You're going small. Well, we need to go smaller than that because they don't just happen. You need to go even smaller. And that is, you could initiate contact with 25 schools to get those 5. That's going small. Oh, that's not small enough. What do? How do you initiate contact? Go smaller and say, you build your intro packet and send it to 25 schools, 25 coaches. But you got to go smaller than that, because that doesn't just happen. You got to get there somehow. So let's go smaller. And that is to set aside 5 hours a week on recruiting. Set aside 5 hours a week on recruiting. That's going really small, but you have to do that. You have to act. You have to go small in order to pursue that big dream. In order to earn an athletic scholarship at the school of your choice by 2020, you have to narrow it down and be thinking as to the basics. What can I do today? What can I do this week? What is your one thing this summer? Is it to have relationships with 5 coaches? Maybe it's 10 coaches. Maybe it's something bigger. Maybe it's something smaller. But what is your one thing? And you come down to the end of the summer and you say, I was successful because I achieved this one thing. Think big. Don't be afraid to think bigger than you might normally think. There's no harm in that. Then you're going to back it up and say, I want to act small. I want to go small. What does that mean in order to achieve that big thing this summer, that one thing? Focus on that one thing in your mind, and then play it back, run it back, and see what you have to do to go small. And let me ask you this question as we come down to the end here. How can you go small this week? How can you go small this week? And I'll tell you that you can't go small unless you're thinking big. It's not about activity. It's about doing the right things in order to achieve that one thing. Going small isn't doing minuscule things and staying busy. It really ties in to the overall direction, the overall goal, that one thing that you're trying to achieve. So as you think about how you can go small this week, I need to step back and say, as I asked, what is your one thing this summer? Can you answer that question? This is a parent-athlete combined answer. You both got to be involved in this. What is your one thing this week? That's what it comes down to. So think big. Go small. The number 4 secret to your summer recruiting success. I hope you understand that. You see how that fits together. I want to be here for you in this step-by-step process, helping you do the right things to get to your goal. You don't want to waste time. Your time is valuable, both parents and athletes. Your emotional effort is valuable. Your physical effort is valuable. And I want to help you achieve your scholarship dream. Next week, we're going to pull all this together. If you haven't had a chance to listen to all 4 episodes, that's fine. We're going to pull all this together. I want this to be a successful summer. So we kick things off in June. The clock is running, has been ticking, but here we are in June, and we are on our way. Encourage you to go and download my freebie, the Recruiting Power Pack, 3 elements, first steps to an athletic scholarship, when and how to use video, and your player profile or resume template. 3 things there you should get your hands on. And make sure you check out my book, The Athletic Scholarship Playbook. It is indeed a roadmap for you, a great tool as we kick off the summer together. God bless you. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.